What's up, family? This is your man, not your boy, bringing you another gold nugget that you can either pick up or you can just kick it aside. When is Israel going to take its ground forces and bum rush Palestine? I'm going to tell you why they haven't. Now, I know that many of you all don't know that I served 20 years in the Air Force. I've done and worked in many of agencies and jobs. Pentagon I've worked in, Defense Intelligence I've worked in, Space Command, Crisis Actions Team. I've been in a lot of places and learned a lot of things along the way in my military career, which makes me qualified to talk about military strategies that are actually being conducted right now as you sleep at night and you are wondering when this big bomb is going to go off. What is happening right now? I'll tell you. You see, if Israel wants America's help, they just can't go bum and rush in. Why? Because America must make sure that it has its ducks in order. It must make sure it assesses a situation, that there are other variables that must be considered. Like if Iran gets involved, Egypt gets involved, Qatar gets involved. If these other countries get involved, America better make sure its ass is not showing in the rear when these other countries can come in and just do devastation in the country of America. You see, it must get its defense together. That's right, the Pentagon. You know, where all the three services are there to conduct business when it comes to, you got it, military things. Not only that, you got the Defense Intelligence Agency, right, who will conduct these analysis of war strategic settings and see if not America is capable or able to defend America if such things happen. But also, they must collect the intelligence either from the CIA or any other agencies that have information on the ground in those countries, so that when it comes time to strike, you know exactly where to go strike. That's right. You know, those pinpoint missiles that can go in and hit at the drop of a dime. Yeah, there are ops agents out here. That's their job. Counterintelligence. How do we counteract our enemies if they come and do us harm? Now, even though the Israelis are itching to go and pay back, you know, Palestine for bombing them, you know, and surprising them with this military offense, they just have to consider everybody else in the big picture. You know, America have sent, you know, its ships over, its airplanes over, sitting right there in the ocean, waiting for the green light to go ahead and Israel can go and do what it has to do. Of course, they said to rid Hamas. One must understand, everybody has an interest in this war. You should have an interest in this war, because not only will it affect your economy, oil prices will go up, because machineries use oil. There will be blockades, there will be slowing down of processings, and there might even be some oil fields hit in the matter. You know, like how what happened during Desert Storm when Saddam Hussein set aflame a lot of the oil fields. A lot of the oil was not there. So there's a lot of things that must be considered. Now, this old sergeant here has a little bit more gold nuggets to share with you all. I did a video of what exemptions you can use if the draft is called for you to have to go serve in. Please look at that video, because it's very important. There are many people out here, those with the money, those who don't look like you, who are going to use these exemptions so their beautiful boys and girls do not get drafted. The other side of that is, if you have not noticed the campaigns that are now being pushed out there. The advertisements. You know, I've seen more Army commercials than I have seen in a long while. Why? Because what they're doing as far as propaganda campaigning is pushing all this information, getting sympathy for Israel, getting everybody stirred up, making it seem as though that, you know, the horrific things that have happened, you know, are just so overwhelming that you will sympathize, that you will be ready and willing to go and give your life to a cause for the help of Israel. I talked to a young man yesterday, a black young man, 18 years old. I hope they watched this video. He was right there with his father. And he said he was going in the military. I asked him, why are you going in the military? He really didn't have an answer, except for he wanted to build his skills up. And I laid out before him what he will actually be building. He will be building the wealth of those who are on higher standards of life, who don't look like him. He will be building the so-called businesses, corporations that are waiting for a war to happen so that they can make more money. But he will not be building his bank account. He will not be building his legacy. Hard pill to swallow when you've served in the military and you realize with 15 plus years in, before you're about to come to retirement, that your life meant nothing when it came to for the liberties and the freedoms that you wanted to enjoy. Not to say it doesn't play a part. Yes, the forces do keep enemies from overtaking this country, and you do have that luxury of that. The other thing I want to share when it comes to this war. Don't think for 1 minute that when you see Israel, you see Palestine are fighting amongst each other. They have sent the leaflets. I did a video on that. They dropped the leaflets down. They're pushing the Palestinians back, only to remove them out of Gaza. This land will be utilized, I'm quite sure, if you follow history, for those who are funding the war. Now you might say, but my taxes fund the war. Well, not necessarily. You know those good old banks out there? Oh yes, these banks front the war. And these banks who front the war are ran by people who makes decisions. And those who are the higher echelon, whose families have the control over these banks, ownership, investments in these banks, are looking at making billions of dollars from fronting money for this war. So I'm saying, as you sitting back and you're watching the news and waiting to hear if, you know, Israel have gone in and bum rushed, and it hasn't happened, it's all because there is planning going on. Strategic planning. America has to ensure its space is protected, its waters are protected, its land is protected. Because if you just rush into something and forget that these other countries may lean in and join in with these other countries, and you did not consider protecting your rear, many Americans are going to wake up with alarms going off and hearing explosions of bombs and wished they were not in this situation. Something I'm used to, them bombs going off. But I hope that you've learned from this, that there's a lot more behind the scenes that are going on with this military. They've sent the Secretary of Defense to talk to Egypt, Qatar, Iran, to ensure they do not jump into this war. They have to make sure before even President Biden goes over that it's safe for him to come talk to some of those leaderships. Because without being assured these countries will not be involved, ain't nothing gonna happen until they strategically plan that all is well. This is your man, not your boy, bringing you another nugget that you can either pick up or you can just kick it aside.